All right, thank you for joining us tonight. We are going to go over some strategies for conferencing with your child's teacher. Just to start off, I'm going to briefly go over what's going to be covered in the presentation. First off, we're going to talk a little bit about planning prior to the conference and what you should do before you actually go to the conference with the teacher. The next thing we'll talk about is conference protocol and how you should really present yourself at the conference and how you should interact with the teacher. The next thing is how to voice concerns that you may have about your child's progress. And then the last thing, we're going to talk a little bit about what you should make sure you have in hand when you walk out the door in the form of an action plan. The first thing is to schedule your conference early. So if you see something that you think, or see something that raises a red flag that your child may be struggling behaviorally or academically or socially for some reason, make sure you contact your teacher immediately or your child's teacher immediately to schedule that conference. And then once the conference is scheduled, you should bring a notepad along with you so that you can jot some things down while you're talking. The next thing, make sure that if you have any concerns, such as maybe you're concerned about their academic progress, maybe take a copy of a test, the one that you're concerned about, or a copy of homework that you're concerned about, so that they have an understanding of what exactly you think is going on. The next thing is stick to talking about your own child. Maybe you have concerns about behavioral issues, but make sure that you stick to the topic and stick to your own child as opposed to any other children in the class. And then finally, make sure that after you've had your conference, you follow up and make sure that things are moving along smoothly.
When speaking with the teacher, you want to keep a positive attitude. You want to make sure that you know and let the teacher know that you appreciate the time that they've given up to meet with you, and that it's their time as well as yours that you're using to go for the same goal. You also want to remember to take into perspective where they're coming from. This teacher has to answer to the administration, follow certain guidelines. You have to make sure that you realize they also have a mission to take care of in their classroom, along with taking care of each child's individual needs. And also remember that you want to bring to the table when you go to this meeting with the teacher that you are a team player, that you want to work in cooperation with them, and anything that you can do as a parent is going to help out in the classroom also. So things to consider whenever you are talking to your child's teacher is you want to ask them, have you noticed any bullying going on? Has my child been part of anything like that? Either side of the spectrum on that. You want to find out and take with you have personal problems. Maybe you want to voice those opinions to that teacher or let her know or him know that there are things going on at home and it is actually personal. So that's the time that you want to tell them if something is happening at home that might be influencing your child's classroom work. Another thing that you might want to bring up is academic ability. You might want to find out, how is my child doing in class academically? Are they behind where the rest of your class is at, or are they a little bit ahead? And if they're behind, then you want to know, what can I do at home to help them? What can I do as a parent to try to do what you're doing in class and just build on that? Or if they're a little bit ahead and you want to know as a parent, is there an enriching activity I can be doing at home with them? You want to know, is there a skill building activity that you can work on with them also? Social issues. Does my child have any problems with socializing with their peers? At recess time, in their free time, at lunchtime? Are they having these kind of problems? You don't know. You're not in the classroom. You want to hear from the teacher exactly what's happening so that you are part of that team again. Behavioral concerns. Again, this comes back to the classroom. Is my child acting out? Is there something that they're doing that they're not supposed to be doing in class that I can work on at home with you? You want to continuously tell the teacher that you are there as a cooperative member of this team, because team is the whole reason that you're working together to support this child's education.
Following this discussion, you will be moving into the last part of the conference, which we would call the action plan. Now, before you actually develop a problem or resolution plan, you want to make sure that you exchange contact information with the teacher. Emails. If you have access to a computer or an email address, you would want to exchange email addresses. If you have access to a phone during the day, you will want to exchange phone numbers if you haven't done so already. Also, a student agenda. Something else that you may want to consult for communication back and forth from school to home would be the student's agenda or planner. This is typically something that the student will be writing homework assignments in, and something that will be convenient to keep close communication with the teacher. Also, a school website. Some school websites will have a pre-established class website that will contain contact information. Moving into the problem or resolution plan, you want to develop a plan that is in direct accordance with the reason for your visit. This is going to ensure that you both are on the same page, and it will encourage progression for the student's performance. After the conference, you will want to follow up at home. This is what we will call the post-conference actions. You will want to discuss the details of the action plan that you and your child's teacher had come up with your child. This is going to be so that the child will understand that you're on the same page with his or her teacher. You also want to make sure that you are continuing with contact with the teacher following the conference. This is especially important to ensure that you follow up and you will be closely monitoring your child's performance. Thank you for viewing the presentation. Be sure to view our other parent help videos. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact the school principal.